The dream of every cricketer, the ultimate glory. Few manage to keep their date with destiny. But for many, it's been heartbreaks and a cross to bear. The Holy Grail is here in India. I'm Rupha Ramani and Firstpost brings you the ringside view. We bring you the Cup of Dreams. Cricket World Cup coverage like never before.
It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net. Nice one. Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams.
Hi, how are you doing? Yes, it's a Barbie doll inspired pink outfit, but why not? 2023 is the year the company has dedicated to the women in sports. On that note, welcome to Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. Now, they often say that sporting miracles are scripted off the field, in the dressing rooms, where bonds are made and relationships are forged. All the hard work is done way before the players enter the field. And the execution is a mere result of all that has happened behind closed doors. Today, we will bring you stories of two contrasting dressing rooms. One that is redefining the way cricket fans are viewing this side. Famously dubbed as chokers, a tag that even after generations keeps sneaking in on the Proteas cricket team. South Africa is scripting something special at the Cricket World Cup. And one man who was always at the eye of the storm when it came to ruffling feathers and general throwing away the rule book is at the center of a dressing room that is all smiles, enjoying each other's successes, leaving everyone else green with envy. The other is a dressing room that is struggling to live up to a legacy that dominated football, a club that has been the most successful one over the years. Manchester United is suddenly finding itself in territory they are not too familiar with. A rift between players and the manager at the helm. Erik Ten Hag stands alienated, yet ready to fight. And there's an exclusive interview too coming your way. All that and more lined up. But first, a look at the headlines from the world of sports in Sports 360. Mitchell Marsh has been ruled out of the ICC World Cup indefinitely. The all-rounder had to fly back home due to personal reasons. This comes as a major blow for Australia, who have just gained momentum at the World Cup after a shaky start. West Ham United beat Arsenal 3-1 in yesterday's EFL Cup match. Arsenal had a bad start after an own goal from centre-back Ben White. Mohamed Kudus and Jarrod Bowen scored a goal each in the second half for West Ham, taking the score to 3-0. Martin Odegaard scored a consolatory goal for Arsenal 6 minutes into second half injury time. With the loss, Arsenal have also been knocked out of the League Cup. In tennis, world number one Novak Djokovic advanced to the round of 16 at the Paris Masters. Serbia's Djokovic beat Argentina's Thomas Martin Echeverry 6-3, 6-2 in straight sets. The match lasted just 1 hour and 20 minutes. Djokovic will next play against Talon Griekspoor from the Netherlands. Former world number two Alexander Zverev has been fined by a German court. Reports say Zverev is accused of physically abusing his ex-girlfriend. The fine is worth over $450,000. He refuted the allegations and is contesting the penalty order. And golf legend Tiger Woods has started his own league with Scottish pro golfer Rory McIlroy. The tournament has been named TGL, which is short for Team-Based Golf League. TGL will be launched in January next year and will be played on a course of 15 holes instead of 18. Woods and McIlroy say that their new league will incorporate technology like shot simulators, which will revolutionize the sport. Now, competitions are not fun when they are lopsided or one-sided. A closely contested game always keeps us on the tip of our toes. One such encounter is right around the corner between the top teams in the points table currently, India and South Africa. They've been on a roll since the World Cup started. South Africa, despite losing a match, bounced right back, courtesy the Proteas batters who have knocked it out of the park. A 190-run win against New Zealand last night has also meant their net run rate is the best in the tournament so far. They have a batting firepower and a resilient bowling unit oozing with class so far. especially with Keshav Maharaj coming into his own in the last few matches. India and South Africa have just been very carefully observing each other from the corners, making notes in the hope of toppling the other. Now it's time for the boss of all battles. The two will go head-to-head against each other on the 5th of November. That's this Sunday. Temba Bavuma's men have been in red-hot form, and they have left nothing to demoralize themselves so far. You'll get to watch all that buzz from Kolkata live, but only on our cup of dreams. But before we reach the Eden Gardens, I spoke to someone from the South African side who is also known as the MS Dhoni of the Proteas. He fancies playing here in these conditions for a reason. Listen to what Heinrich Klaasen had to say ahead of the much-anticipated encounter against India in Kolkata.
I think MS is a very special calm. Doesn't look like he gets faced by any pressure situation. Pressure still gets to us. We're normal human beings. But I think in my career, I'm definitely a calm. I like those pressure situations. And pressure will always find you where I bat. So in the middle order, there's always pressure, different situations. And it's a great challenge, to be fair. Every day is a new day and a new challenge. I would say definitely I'm calm. I think MS is a very special calm. Doesn't look like he gets faced by any pressure situation. Pressure still gets to us. We're normal human beings. But I think in my career, I'm definitely a calm. I like those pressure situations. And pressure will always find you where I bat. So in the middle order, there's always pressure, different situations. And it's a great challenge, to be fair. Every day is a new day and a new challenge. No one in particular. I think I faced quite a few bowlers around the world, but there's one challenge I'm looking forward to is probably facing Ashwin. I've been in the international scene for a while now, but I think I've only faced 2 balls of him, so which is interesting. So I would like to have a good challenge with him. I know he's a phenomenal bowler, and it's one of the spinners with him and the Jadeja that I haven't really faced a lot from. So that will be 2 good challenges. And then the Afghani spinners, they're going to keep us busy as well. So that's going to be a good challenge as well. Yeah, I think I'm blessed that I've made all 3 debuts against India. Unfortunately, the test debut didn't go so well. I think my one-day debut also didn't go well. I think I've only got 14, but I've got a good record against them. So, but like I said, we've been traveling to India.
All right, South Africa has had a phenomenal run at the Cricket World Cup. One of the few sides from outside the subcontinent that has really prepped well, done all the necessary homework, and have executed to near perfection. Though they had that blip against Netherlands, they recovered rather quickly to continue powering through on the cusp of the semi-final spot. And one man who has been instrumental for the kind of success that South Africa is enjoying has been their opener, Quinton De Kock. He has had a blistering campaign so far. He has dominated all opposition, and to think that this will be the last ODI tournament we will see him play is indeed disheartening, because he's proving to be such a fabulous exponent of the format that he is claimed to be bored of now. And that's the most beautiful aspect of this, the irony of it all. Just when Quinton felt he has probably had enough of the ODI format, he's redefining the meaning of it all just by the way he's batting. Now, this is what he's done in World Cups alone. In the 7 matches that he has played so far, he has already scored 4 centuries. His best is the highest score by a wicketkeeper batter, and he's averaging nearly 80. Now, he has absolutely owned this platform, and just the manner in which he has gone about his business is highly incredible. Now, he has scored those hundreds in across different tracks, from belters in Delhi to tougher pitches in Lucknow. And to think that this is one of the best performances in World Cups. Here is what he has done in other World Cups compared to this one. From scoring not a single 100 in as many as 17 innings in total, spanning across 2 World Cup editions prior to this, in 2015 and 2019, where his best individual scores have been 78 unbeaten and 68, to now storming this World Cup, where he has already amassed 545 runs and counting. Quinton is unstoppable. No wonder when India takes on South Africa this weekend in Kolkata, Quinton De Kock will be a marked man. He's clearly going to leave his imprint on that clash, as stated by former India coach Gary Kirsten.
Well, I think getting Quinton De Kock out earlier is going to be a key. So whoever's going to do that, whether it's probably Bumrah is going to play, a big role. That could be a great matchup. You could maybe have an Ashwin, who is a good matchup against Quinton as well. But I think getting Quinton De Kock out early is going to be an absolute priority for the Indians.
Now, what makes this case study even more curious and exciting is to see the kind of person he is. Now, Rassie van der Dussen recently in a press conference spoke about the kind of camaraderie that exists in the Proteas dressing room. He said that the vibe and atmosphere is better than ever. The players are clearly enjoying each other's success. That's a massive shift from all the polarizing issues that has plagued South Africa cricket in phases over the decades. From being in the throes of the well-chronicled apartheid that kept the country away from any sporting tournaments, to still rifts within the team, problems with coaches and so on, South Africa has suffered the brunt of it. Quinton too has played a part in being a bit of a problem child in the dressing room. An image now that seems like a far cry from what we see. There was a time when he used to be at the center of it all, from brawls and fights that has gone on to punches, and the sense of disregard to conforming to what is right. When the Black Lives Movement gained momentum a couple of years ago, South Africa cricket team took that up with every player taking the knee in support of BLM. Every cricketer apart from Quinton, he refused to take the knee, decided to not play the match because of that. And the world judged and ridiculed, even as Quinton remained silent, only to come out with a 3-page letter some days later, telling everyone that he is, after all, a child of mixed-race family. He says, "For me, black lives have mattered since I was born, not just because there was an international movement." Now, Quinton, that one line rang through like a shot. And suddenly, everyone was seeing Quinton differently, viewing him in a different light. He was no longer the problem child, but someone who had probably been misunderstood, much like what his career has been like from ODI World Cups to the next. It's Quinton of 2023 World Cup that has made people see him in the light of what he has always been, one of the most destructive wicketkeeper batters, one of the most classical left-handed batters in world cricket. Quinton of 2015 and 2019 is not even a shade of the man we see today, playing his last ODI tournament. And even today, some parts of him remain a bit of a mystery, like his decision to quit ODIs, especially now when he is at his very best. They always say quit when they ask you why, not why not. That is what Quinton is doing, and he's making sure his ODI swan song is the perfect one for not just him, but the South African unit as well, a country that has failed at World Cup events repeatedly in the past. And who knows, maybe just like the world started seeing Quinton in a new light, South Africa's cricket legacy too could don a new shade. They too could break that tag of chokers and be viewed as true chasers of the big dream. Now, from harmony in one team to discord in the other, Manchester United, one of the oldest clubs in the world of football, is one that has a massive fan following. And why not? This club alone has won 13 Premier League titles. It's a franchise that is steeped in success and history. And there is trouble brewing on this pitch. The 3-0 loss against Newcastle in Old Trafford last night is just the tip of the iceberg. Slumped to number 8th on the Premier League points table is a result of things not really going their way on the field. And as we've seen with so many professional sides across sporting disciplines, a slump in performances on the field is often an indication and a reflection of what is happening off it. The Carabao Cup loss to Newcastle, though, has truly opened a can of worms. A former Manchester City goalie, Shay Given, has come out saying there are massive talks of a rift between the manager, Erik Ten Hag, and the players. Now, you really did not have to read that statement to see what is going on. There are a few run-ins that Erik has already had with some of the members of the team. The Jadon Sancho Erik Ten saga, for example. The manager omitted Sancho from Manchester United's first squad, saying that his performance at training was not good enough. That resulted in Jadon taking to his social media and claiming he was made the scapegoat. Now, just to give you a bit of a backgrounder here, Sancho had been awarded some time off between October last year right up to early this year, February, to recover from his physical and mental issues. He marked his Premier League return with a goal against Leeds, but managed just 3 goals in the 25 matches thereafter. It's reportedly being said that a miffed Sancho might leave the club in January. Sancho's termination could mean a massive financial blow, considering he was bought in for over $88 million. The club, though, decided to stand by Erik through this chapter. Now let's paint you a picture of Erik Ten Hag. When he was hired last year, he was seen as someone who could restore the club's former glories. And he has a strong personality. He's quite the strict disciplinarian, and it's great if that's the kind of pressure you revel and grow in. He has said the dressing room lacks professionalism, that there is no culture. He's never shied away from showing who's the boss, right from the time he took over the reins as Manchester United manager. That's the reputation that he built, always dealing with the players by a strict hand, like handing disciplinary action against Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo's stint at Old Trafford, in fact, ended in a rather controversial manner. His contract was terminated reportedly after he chose to criticize Erik Ten Hag. Ronaldo, in an explosive interview to Piers Morgan, said he felt betrayed by that whole episode. Hag's urge, in fact, to stamp his authority among the players also saw him strip Harry Maguire of the captaincy, giving it to Bruno Fernandes, who led the team to a resounding defeat in the derby recently. The man in the eye of the storm, who was even booed by the fans recently for substituting Rasmus Højlund with Anthony Martial in a match against Brighton just last month, still stands his ground and says he believes a turnaround is possible for the Red Devils.
Consistency, and that is the problem where we are struggling with. In parts of the game, in big parts of the game, I would say we do a lot of things right, but then we are moments where we're struggling, and we in such moment we can't survive. And in this moment, you have to do the right things, and so be consistent in doing the job. Be consistent in the communication, because when you do that, you keep the right organization and do it like before. So yeah, definitely you can mark such moment as when we score a goal, or when we concede a goal, or when moments, decisive moments are going against us, and then we lose a little bit team. And where we, over big parts, say 95% of the game, we are that team. So keep doing all the way through, and there we have to step up.
Now, Erik Ten Hag joins the long list of managers that have rapidly come and gone at Manchester United after the illustrious Alex Ferguson era. David Moyes lasted little less than a year. Then, of course, came the prolific Ryan Giggs, who only stayed a few months. Louis van Gaal managed to hold on for a couple of years. Jose Mourinho, another 2 years, both champion managers. Gunnar Solskjaer also stayed a couple of years. Michael Carrick and Ralf Rangnick did not stay on for too long. Now, Erik has enjoyed a lot of success in his career, but that somehow hasn't reflected in his stint at Old Trafford lately. And this imposing nature seems to be getting the better of the team and his dynamics with them. Manchester United has lost 5 of its 10 league games this season. That's the most number of defeats that the club has suffered in over 35 years. United don't seem to intimidate the underdogs anymore. We have seen this in the past with various sporting disciplines, whether it is team sport or individual. Indian cricket team famously had the most acrimonious fallout with Greg Chappell. The unpleasant dressing room, the fights, him showing the finger to the fans who were booing him right in the middle of a series, all very well documented. He was a disciplinarian, a very good player during his days, but clearly couldn't handle the pressure or find a middle ground with the Indian team, particularly the seniors in the side. Individual stars in tennis, badminton have often parted ways with their coaches or mentors because of a lack of a common ground, or just the ideology is not really sinking anymore. In this case, Erik Ten Hag seems to be stubborn about the control of the team resting with him and him solely. Though his first season with Manchester United was a success, the last few months have been rather rocky for him and the players. We will just have to wait and see how this story will continue to unfold. Now, that's all that we have the time for on this show, but before we say bye-bye, we will leave you with our parting shot, which we call as the last serve. Now, India's Mumbai was made synonymous with the sporting superstar, who redefined cricket just by his sheer class and the numbers. Even as his prodigy, Virat Kohli, is on the cusp of equaling this legend's record, Mumbai's iconic Wankhede Stadium has paid its homage to Sachin Tendulkar as a legend statue was unveiled. Quite the fanfare, as always is seen in this country where we idolize, where a lot of the fans idolize the superstars. But that's all the time we have now. Thank you so much for watching First Sports. Do, of course, keep following our coverage, our exclusive coverage of the Cricket World Cup, only on the Cup of Dreams. For now, though, bye-bye, take care.